What's up, metal and heavy music fans? It's Fleshbore again with MetalTrenches.com, and today we have a review of Slaughter To Prevail and their new album Costulom via Sumerian Records. And hey, if you'd like to be kept up to date with the best and brightest metal bands and albums from the underground and above, then stick with me by hitting that subscribe button down below. Slaughter To Prevail is a Russian deathcore band who have been quickly gaining steam not only due to their music, but also the charisma and antics of frontman Alex Terrible, who had already been gaining a cult following for his YouTube vocal cover videos. Costulom had tons of hype leading up to it, with it likely being one of the most anticipated deathcore albums of the year. But can it live up to those sky-high expectations?
Blood we took, flesh we ate, love through the pain, nothing but faith.
Starting with the good, there is only one word to describe Baba Yaga.
Perfection.
I feel like this is kind of a new deathcore and new metal anthem. Those opening vocals will be remembered in the same way as the classics for time to come. Alex is just killing it on this thing, and speaking of which, the vocal variety here is both fun and very impressive. The groove is also insanely infectious. The vocal cadence in particular on the chorus is a total earworm.
You have a problem, boy?
And I love the mathy guitars towards the end. This is a 10 out of 10 song, no question. The opener, Bonebreaker, is another easy standout and very appropriate to its name. This is an absolute punisher with tons of great riffs and should delight those who just want to bang their heads and fuck shit up. I Kill the Man has kind of a Fear Factory vibe in places with the almost industrial interplay of the drums and guitar that I really enjoyed. And I'm also certain that the beginning moments of You're Only are going to tear venues apart, as it seems as if this one was written specifically to kick off a pit of catastrophic proportions. Overall, there are also just a lot of great closing moments to these songs, like the more rapid vocals on Made in Russia, and the Meshuggah-y groove on Zavali Balo. But turning to the bad, Costolom also leaves a lot to be desired. Honestly, they kind of blew their load with Baba Yaga, which got me super hyped, but really none of the rest of the songwriting even comes close to that, if you ask me. In fact, a lot of these tracks end up sounding pretty generic and left very little for me to chew on afterwards.
How dare you!
Lots of forgettable chugs and growls. There's also a clear Slipknot influence on several of these compositions, like Agony and, again, Made in Russia and You're Only, both in the guitars and especially the clean vocals.
I never let you down. I always knew how you feel.
Alex is definitely trying to channel some early Corey Taylor with alternations of screams and that creepy kind of serial killer tone, but none of it really hits the mark and just ends up coming off as a cheap imitation. Corny delivery and even cornier lyrics just fall flat for me. And it's a shame because I really do think that Alex is a very talented and versatile vocalist capable of much better. And honestly, I love early Slipknot, but if I want that old Slipknot sound done right with a modern twist, it's gonna be Tala all the way. To be totally honest, when I'm listening, I'm already pretty bored with it about halfway through, and even the best moments in the second half aren't enough to win me back. Now understand, I am not a hater. I really do think that Slaughter To Prevail has tons of potential, again exemplified in just how good Baba Yaga is. I think that they just need a little bit more guidance and some more time in the oven. Turning to my scales, I give Costolom a 7 for enjoyability. There are definitely high points, but they get drowned out by the fluff. And once more, this and last year alone are full of better options in this style. I give it a 7 for musicianship. It's pretty standard deathcore tropes with a few flourishes here and there. And I give it a 7 for innovation. Very little to push the genre forward with this one. So a 7 overall and a C- for Slaughter To Prevail and Costulom. But if you want a deathcore album this week that's really gonna rustle your jimmies, you need to check out Fleshbore with Ember's Gathering via Inner Strength Records. Fleshbore is an Indianapolis tech death crew, with this being their first full-length album despite already coming in strong. The vocals here feel very much like a mix between the guttural brutality of Aborted with bouts of the more syncopated rapid-fire approach of Archspire. In any case, if you want to hear some of the more fun verbal acrobatics, you'll find plenty of that on the likes of Careless Preacher and the title track. And while on first sampling I was prepared to just pick this up for simple enjoyment factor alone, the deeper dive brought me to realize the clear worth of these musicians on a technical level as well. From the drumming to the guitars, right down to work on the bass, there are some really impressive performances to find here. And more importantly, they are woven into consistently engaging songs that were never boring. There's a level of dynamics going on here that I actually find to be pretty rare in most death metal on the more brutal side, but on par with the likes of Cytotoxin and Exocrine. A banger start to finish without an ounce of filler, and I can't wait to hear more. Y'all, you should also check out my favorite deathcore albums of 2021 so far, and my review of the new Lorna Shore EP. Let me know down in the comments what you think of these albums, but that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.